Chapter 1 on how to be a good cat mom. I was thinking of situations to be a good cat. And I found quite a few of them. So that's the best way to do it, is just put it in there. Take that view over there. The first one is to make sure they have a safe environment to be in. If there's raccoons out there and they don't get along with the raccoons, make sure they leave and bring the cats in. Make sure they're healthy. Make sure they're not sneezing all the time and anything else, and take them to the vet if you can to get an exam. Chapter 1. I let the cats out every night. We have 7 of them, and I make sure they're all out, and I make sure they're all in. And sometimes I can do it, and sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can't find them. Sometimes I yell at them, looking for them. Well, here, kitty, 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 kitty. We have Fuzzy Butt, Fuzzy Butterbutt, Buttercup, and Randy's Buttercup, and I'm Googlebutt, Googlebutt. I called Google and I said, "Can I post that?" He said, "That's the funniest thing around, post it." Well, Fuzzy Butt shortly died after that. I made that video. And I go outside, I grab my cell phone, I go out there and I go, "Fuzzy Butt, Fuzzy Butt, Fuzzy Butt, Fuzzy Butt, Fuzzy Butt." And then I call Peaches. Peaches died about 2 months ago. And that kitty broke my heart. I don't know what happened to her. It looked like she had dementia, and she just croaked. She went out to the field, laid down, stayed out overnight, and it was really cold outside. That didn't help. I think she gave up. I got her inside, and she was happy that I was there, and I brought her inside, and I cleaned her up, put her under the blanket and let her get warm, and she sat there, and 2 days later she died. She quit playing. She was the one. We have all these shoestrings. I had my old shoes for my first pair. I put a pair of pink shoelaces on them. So I pulled those out when I turned around and when I turned around and changed my shoes. I pulled those out. I put them together, and I started teasing her with them. She got the idea to play with it, and she was just the most playful thing. You give her a shoestring, she's all over it. It was just kind of one of the cutest things you ever saw. And then we had the other cats, and they'd all sleep up on top, and I've got some videos of that somewhere. I don't look at them because I don't want to break my heart. I have some of Venus, some of Mars. I told Randy about 20 years ago I wasn't going to date him. And I ended up being a truck driver just by chance. And he was my receiver. So I met him at the hot springs up there one day, and I told him I won't go out with him. And then I ended up having him to be my receiver, and I ended up dating him. And he lives in a trailer, and I thought, wow, that's really kind of cool. And Mars and Venus were the two names, and then you had Mars, Venus, Peaches, and the original Peaches, and Booger. Booger was the first one that passed away. I went out in the field and I grabbed her and I put her back inside, and she ran off again, and I did the same thing, and she came by me and laid down and just started, I pet her and she was purring, and she died purring in my arms. And we buried her out in that field down there. And Booger was gone. Venus did not like Spook. Spook was his neighbor's cat that wouldn't go home. He buried himself in the back of the trailer over there where the front is, and he buried himself where I couldn't get him out. So I finally took a squirt bottle and then I squirted him. He got out. So he left. The next day he came back in, and he went in over to the where the my arm is itching, my back of my underarm where I can't get to. Got it. To where the bed of the trailer is, and there's storage space over there. I blocked it off because the cats love to go in there and just lay down. I'm like, oh no, you're getting out. So I left Spook inside one day. Venus was sleeping. He came in, laid down, went to sleep. Just happy little kitty as you can be. Ever since then I said, Randy, why don't we just leave her inside? Venus came in, saw the cat jump 6 feet to the top of the trailer, screaming her bloody head off. And she screamed until I let her out. I wasn't going to let her out. I was going to put her to bed with me. And I was going to put her under the covers. And I let her out. I never saw her again. She was flirting with a black cat, looked like a panther, over there a little while back. And I think she was neutered. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But she left and never came back. Mama was the other one. Mama had a orange eye, and this guy came by and said, you know, that's a very rare cat. I said, yeah, and it better stay here too. I know where you live. Well, he wasn't who I thought he was. The cat disappeared. Never came back after that. It wasn't more than 2 or 3 days later it was gone. I think he sold it over at Walmart. I mean, Venus was my baby. And it's one of those things when Venus was gone, then, you know, I was upset again. I lost Mars. I don't know what happened to Mars, but I think Mars got sick and died. And here's that Mercedes again. No, was that I don't know what it is. He was here last time. He's being kind of a jerk. But it is what it is. I mean, this is chapter 1, so. But I don't know. I think about Jim Croce when Croce died. I was supposed to be on that plane. I wasn't. So was my buddy Lori, and she wasn't either. And he died. So now I'm getting ready to take out a big loan and then buy a car and go see Carlos. Chapter 2 will come to tomorrow, but this is chapter 1. How to be a good cat mom. Peace out.